You know how some people try intermittent fasting and it's like a switch flips? They feel incredible, lighter, more in control, totally free from cravings. But then, other people try the exact same thing and feel exhausted, hungry, and are basically ready to quit by day 2. So, what is the deal with that?
It's a super common frustration, right? You see all these people out there just thriving, and you're stuck wondering, what am I doing wrong? It really feels like you're missing some secret piece of the puzzle that everyone else has.
You're shooting for that dream state, that effortless control. But for so many of us, the reality is just a daily grind against hunger and feeling irritable. It's like two completely different worlds. But believe it or not, they often start from the exact same place.
Okay, let's get right into it. Here's the truth. Intermittent fasting isn't just one single switch you flip on or off. It's a ladder. And probably the biggest mistake people make is trying to leap to the top rung before they've even learned how to climb.
So in this explainer, we're going to walk up that ladder together, step by step. We'll start with building a solid foundation, then move into what I call the commitment phase. We'll break down those advanced levels, and we'll wrap up with the single most important idea for making this work long-term.
All right, let's start with the first 3 levels. Now, think of these less as huge challenges and more like the essential first steps for building the structure and the confidence you're going to need for everything else.
Level 1 is just a simple 12-hour fast. Most of it happens while you're asleep. I know, it sounds almost too easy, right? But its real power is in creating structure. For anyone who's used to that late-night snacking habit, this is the very first step in teaching your body that it doesn't need to be fueled 24/7. The huge lesson here, you start to realize that a lot of your eating is just habit, not real physical hunger.
Now, at 14 hours, things start to feel a little more real. You're pushing past that overnight period, and this is where your body's expectations kick in. You might feel hungry right at your usual breakfast time, not because you're starving, but because your body is basically on autopilot. The amazing lesson here is learning that hunger comes and goes in waves, and you don't actually have to panic and react to every single one.
And here it is, the classic 16-8. This is what most people think of when they hear intermittent fasting. And it's popular for a reason. It works, and it fits into most people's lives. But this is also where a lot of people go wrong. They get here and think, okay, I've made it. I've mastered fasting. But in reality, this is just the true foundation. It only really works long-term when that discipline is paired with smart, intentional, high-quality nutrition in your eating window.
Okay, so let's see how that foundation builds into the commitment phase, levels 4 and 5. This is where fasting stops being some casual experiment and starts acting like a diagnostic tool. It literally shines a light on the weak links in your entire health routine.
An 18-hour fast marks a huge shift. It's really less about food and more about your whole lifestyle. Not sleeping well? Oh, this level will expose it. Not hydrating properly? You're going to feel it. Eating unbalanced meals? There is absolutely nowhere to hide. It's a tough teacher for sure, but a fair one. And for those who adapt, this is where fasting starts to feel less like something you do and more like a part of who you are.
At 20 hours, you are now in the zone of deliberate practice. There is zero room for careless eating. If you break this fast with a bunch of junk food, your body will absolutely let you know about it. This level is the great separator. It weeds out mere fascination from true readiness. A lot of people are drawn to the idea of these longer fasts, but level 5 is the test. It shows you if you've actually built a foundation needed to handle it without just suffering.
And that brings us to the advanced levels. You know, these are the ones people love to talk about, but they're also the ones they understand the least. So let's pull back the curtain and look at the myth versus the reality.
Level 6 is OMAD, or 1 meal a day. And this slide perfectly captures the huge disconnect. The idea of OMAD sounds amazing, right? Simple, disciplined, super efficient. But the reality, well, that's often way more complicated. It's a massive nutritional puzzle to get everything you need in one meal. It can be really isolating socially, and mentally, it's a huge adjustment. So why do most people just kind of dip their toes in level 6 instead of living there? Well, it usually comes down to this. They find out they like the identity of being an OMAD person more than the day-to-day reality. See, it's one thing to just survive a day on one meal. It's a completely different thing to actually feel energized and thrive doing it every single day. It's a powerful tool, but it's a very demanding lifestyle.
And the final rung, the 24-hour fast. This is basically eating dinner one night and then not eating again until dinner the next. The biggest challenge here isn't just physical, it's the psychological weight of it. A full day without food shows you just how deeply eating is woven into our habits, our social lives, and just our daily rhythm. It's an incredible tool for self-awareness, but it's not supposed to be the ultimate goal. And that brings us to the most important part of this whole conversation. The goal isn't to just keep climbing to the highest level you can possibly stand. The goal is to find the level that actually works for you, sustainably, for the long haul.
After seeing all 7 levels, this is the question everyone asks, right? Which one is the best? Is it level 3? Is it level 6? What's the ultimate goal here?
And the truth is, the best level is simply the one that makes your life better. That's it. Remember this, higher is not always better. Better is better. The goal isn't to rack up fasting hours like points in a video game. It's to find a rhythm that supports your health and your energy for good.
So here's the whole ladder at a glance. You can see that clear path, starting with simple structure, then checking your habits, then challenging your whole routine, and finally, using those advanced levels as what they are, specialized tools, not necessarily a daily destination. It's a journey, not a race to the top. So what should you take away from all this? Real success in fasting isn't measured by how extreme you can be for a couple of days. It's measured by what you can actually sustain. Your personal sweet spot might be a 14-hour or a 16-hour fast. And that's not just okay, that's smart, because better is better.
So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. Looking at this whole progression and being really honest with yourself about your lifestyle and your body, which level isn't just the one you're curious about, but the one that is actually realistic and beneficial for you right now?